Welcome to Vissa's Vlog, a homemaker's diary. In this video, we will have TRB examination objective questions in English literature. Syllabus for modern literature paper 1400 to 1600. We must be thorough with Chaucer's The Prologue to the Canterbury Tales, Spenser's The Fairy Queen Book 1, Spenser's Prathalamion and Epithalamion, selected poems of Wyatt and Surrey, ballads. In prose, Bacon's essays, Sidney's Apology for Poetry, the Bible, Marlowe's Dr. Faustus, the Spanish Tragedy by Kyd, The Alchemist by Ben Jonson. Let us continue the objectives from Chaucer period to Ben Jonson. Objective questions continued from 51. Marlowe served as a spy to the government. Marlowe served as a spy to the government. Marlowe was stabbed by Ingram Fraser in a tavern. Faustus was a man of humble origin, but he was arrogant and pride. Dr. Faustus was arrogant and pride. Marlowe's Dr. Faustus was a tragedy of presumption. Dr. Faustus makes an infamous bargain to enjoy the knowledge, the pleasure, the omnipotent power. So we have to give the option all these three. Dr. Faustus likes the knowledge, the pleasure, the omnipotent power. And long over this I should have done the deed, had not sweet pleasure conquered deep despair. These lines come from Marlowe's Dr. Faustus. Was this the face that launched 1,000 ships and burned the topless towers of Ilium? This allusion comes in the works of Marlowe. The comedies of Shakespeare's rival is Marlowe. Who rated poetry highest among the functions of human intellect? It is Sidney. Sidney rated poetry highest among the functions of human intellect. Who wrote the treatise The School of Abuse? It is by Stephen Gozan. Stephen Gozan wrote the treatise The School of Abuse, whose work is rightly hailed as one of the outstanding performances in English criticism. It is Sidney's. Sidney's work is rightly hailed as one of the outstanding performances in English criticism. Whose work is the first piece of criticism in English? It is Sidney's. Sidney's work is the first piece of criticism in English. Sidney gave his abstract themes in concrete forms. How many pilgrims do you find in Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales? It is 30. 30 pilgrims were in Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales. Ben Jonson was, unlike Shakespeare, in definite views on his art. Ben Jonson followed the pattern set by Plautus and Terence. The neoclassical period is otherwise called as the period of romantic revival. The period of romantic revival is also called as the neoclassical period. The Normans belong to France. The Celtic languages belong to Indo-European family. The Renaissance is the Elizabethan age, the Jacobean age, and the Caroline age. So we have to go for the option all these three ages. Who wrote the essay of truth? It is by Bacon. Bacon wrote the essay of truth. The essay of adversity was written by Bacon. Bacon wrote the essay of adversity. Essay of revenge was written by Bacon. Bacon wrote the essay of revenge. Who wrote Praethalamion and Epithalamion? Praethalamion and Epithalamion was written by Spenser. Spenser wrote the poems Praethalamion and Epithalamion. The author of Apology for Poetry is Sidney. Sidney wrote the critical essay Apology for Poetry. The Spanish tragedy was written by Kyd. Kyd wrote the play The Spanish Tragedy. Who was the author of The Alchemist? The answer is Ben Jonson. Ben Jonson was the author of The Alchemist. The character, the partner in Canterbury Tales is Rome Returned Rascal. In Canterbury Tales, the character, the partner is Rome Returned Rascal. The summoner is the corrupt man of the church in Canterbury Tales. In Canterbury Tales, the character, the summoner is the corrupt man of church. The character, the reeve in Canterbury Tales is a good manager but clever and corrupt. The reeve in Canterbury Tales is a good manager but clever and corrupt. The host in Canterbury Tales is a born leader. The character, the host in Canterbury Tales is a born leader. The squire in Canterbury Tales is young, handsome and optimistic. The character, the squire in Canterbury Tales is young, handsome and optimistic. The yeoman is a well-trained young man in Canterbury Tales. The character, the yeoman in Canterbury Tales is a well-trained young man. The place, Algeciras, is in Spain. Ben Marin, a Moorish kingdom, is in North Africa. Ayas is in America. Atalia is in Asia Minor. Tramizan is in north coast of Africa. Palatia is in Asia Minor. The knight in Canterbury Tales participated in many wars. The character, the knight in Canterbury Tales participated in many wars. Who felt the impact of both the Renaissance and the Reformation? The answer is Spenser. Spenser felt the impact of both the Renaissance and the Reformation. Spenser developed great admiration of English literature as well as ancient languages of Europe by the help of his headmaster of Merchant Taylor School. Headmaster of Merchant Taylor School developed Spenser's admiration of English literature as well as ancient languages. Spenser entered Pembroke College, Cambridge, as a Caesar and stayed there for 7 years. Spenser stayed in Cambridge as a Caesar for 7 years. Cambridge University at the time of Spenser was the center of Puritanism as well as radical Platonic movement. Spenser planned to write The Faerie Queene in 12 books. Spenser planned to write the poem The Faerie Queene in 12 books. The epithalamion forms the final of his personal poems. The epithalamion forms the final of Spenser's personal poems. The epithalamion is his personal poetry of intimate love. The epithalamion is Spenser's personal poetry of intimate love. Spenser married Elizabeth Boyle in Ireland. The poem, The Epithalamion, is a poem of wedding gift. Spenser assigned a stanza of each of the 24 hours of his wedding day. Emily Legois remarks, "It is the most gorgeous jewel in the treasure house of the Renaissance. It denotes the Fairy Queen." By Edmund Spenser. Who is the next great poet to Chaucer? It is Spenser. Spenser is the next great poet to Chaucer. Who found in Spenser the poet of the dilated senses? It is W.B. Yeats. W.B. Yeats found in Spenser the poet of the dilated senses. Whose sonnets are more graceful and well knit than Sidney's sonnets? It is Spenser's. Spenser's sonnets are more graceful and well knit than Sidney's sonnets. Dr. Faustus dismisses the subject of philosophy, medicine, and law and turns to magic. Dr. Faustus leaves the subject of philosophy, medicine, and law and turns to magic. A sound magician is a demigod. This is a declaration by Dr. Faustus. Dr. Faustus declared that a sound magician is a demigod. Who says, "Hell hath no limits, nor is circumscribed in one self place, but where we are is hell." It is Mephistopheles. Mephistopheles says that hell hath no limits, nor is circumscribed. Damned art thou, Faustus, damned, despair and die. Who cries in anguish? It is Dr. Faustus. Dr. Faustus, in anguish, cries by saying, "Damned art thou, Faustus, damned, despair and die. Now hast thou but bare hour to live, and then thou must be demand perpetually." Whose words are these? They are Dr. Faustus. Which drama of Shakespeare can be compared to Dr. Faustus? It is Shakespeare's Macbeth can be compared to Dr. Faustus. It is generally remarked that he failed as a tragic dramatist. Who is it? It is Ben Jonson. Ben Jonson failed as a tragic dramatist. Who praised Jonson's The Alchemist? It is Coleridge. Coleridge praised Jonson's The Alchemist. Who was granted pension by James I as King's poet? Ben Jonson. Ben Jonson was granted pension by James I as King's poet. I hope Modern Literature Paper 1, 1400 to 1600 is useful to you. Maximum questions from Chaucer to Ben Jonson are discussed. For further clarification, mention your doubts in the comments. Meet you soon with the video of Modern Literature Unit 2 from 1600 to 1798. All the best and good luck to you all.